Assalamualaikum, nice to meet you everyone. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Pelangi Salzabela Yuliutama, and this video is a test that given to me by my teacher, and I hope she and everyone will enjoy watching this. Just a little bit disclaimer before we start. Actually, English is not the main language in my country, and I'm kind of afraid you will find some mistakes from what I'm saying in this video. I'm so sorry for that, and please correct me if you find any of them, okay? It will be a pleasure. My teacher doesn't tell us to speak fully English like I do actually, but I feel much more comfortable in this way, so yeah. I think I'm just gonna do it anyway. Okay, in this video, I'm gonna talk about Gastropoda or gastropods. Does anyone know what those words mean? The word gastropoda comes from the Greek gastra, which means stomach, and podos, which means feet. So gastropods means self-bodied animals that walk on their stomachs. The gastropoda or gastropods, more commonly known as snails and slugs, are a large taxonomic class within the phylum Mollusca. The class Gastropoda includes snails and slugs of all kinds and all sizes from microscopic to large. There are many thousands of species of sea snails and sea slugs, as well as freshwater snails, freshwater limpets, land snails, and land slugs. They have a large muscular foot for movement, and in many kinds, a single asymmetrical spiral shell. Gastropod class has the most members of the phylum Mollusca, and is most commonly found in various aquatic and terrestrial habitats. In the world, there are about 35,000 species that have been described. It's gonna take a whole day to explain all those one by one, right? But don't worry, I'm not gonna make you stare at this video for straight 3 hours. I'm just gonna explain one species from that class, which is Achantina fulica. If you feel unfamiliar with that name, Achantina fulica is a species of large land snail that belongs in the family Achantinidae. It is also known as the giant African land snail, and probably some people call it escargot. It shares the common name giant African snail with other species of snails such as Achantina achantina and Achantina marginata. But in my country, Indonesia, we usually call it Bekicot or seafood. And in West Java, they sometimes call it racun. Oh, I almost forgot. I actually invited a very special guest for our video today, and everyone, let me introduce you to drum please, Mama Snails. Yeah, Mama Snails, nice to meet you. And oh, you bring your younger son Julia to the interview. Hello, Julia. He's so chat by the way. Nice to meet you too, Julia. Come here and say nice to meet you, Mama. Everyone, with the help from Mama Snail and her son, we will explore the amazing world of giant African land snail. Or I'm just gonna call it Bekicot for sure, okay? Taxonomy. As you can see here, this is the classification system or taxonomy of Bekicot. You can see that they belong to the kingdom Animalia, with the gastropod class and the species Achantina fulica. Characteristic and morphology. Achantina or Bekicot are land snails that live in moist areas. They breathe using their lungs, but if you compare them to mammals, Bekicot lungs are much more simpler than mammals. Bekicot are soft-bodied animals, we call it mollusks, that do not have a backbone. Its body is protected by a strong limestone shell, and at certain times they can hide in it. Their soft body can be divided into 2 parts, namely the head, called the head, and the abdomen, or the body. Their head divided into 2 parts. Again, which is their tentacles and their mouth. Their eyes are the longer tentacles, as you can see here, and can only be used to distinguish dark and light. While their mouth, even though they are not very visible, we still can touch it to feel them more clearly. For the shell, the Bekicot shell are twisted spiral, shaped like a cone tube, and it looks a little bit like a hairband. We call it body whorl. The shell color is brown with the dark striped patterns on the surface, as you can see here on Mama and Junior's shell. Bekicot are also a group of mollusks that have the largest body size among the others. Their general weight range from 150 to 200 grams and their body length from 90 to 130 millimeters. Now I'm gonna show you some pictures of Bekicot's anatomy. Please close your eyes, Junior. I'm afraid this is gonna be your worst nightmare. And for listeners, I know it's gonna be disgusting to see a picture of your own internal organs, but I hope you can deal with it. It's not gonna be long, I promise. For science, for science. From the picture here, we can see their body parts more clearly. This is their eyes, just what I explained before. This is their mouth, their lungs, and all other parts you can read it by yourself. I'm not gonna explain all of them really detailed because I know it's gonna take a long time. But I want to ask you if you see something a little bit unusual in this picture. Did you find something? Okay, let me just tell you if you can find it. I talk about their reproduction organs. Normally, we identify animals as a female and male, right? But for Bekicot, they are not. Because they actually have both male and female organs in their body. And this fact will lead us to our next topic. Their reproduction system. Bekicot belongs to the hermaphrodite group. This means that the male sex in the form of sperm and female sex in the form of ovaries are found in one body. And because of that, we cannot just go and quickly identify them as male or female. The only way to know their gender is to see them in their mating season. Even though they have two reproduction organs, male and female, in their body, their sperm cannot fertilize its own ovaries. They still need to mate with other Bekicot in order to reproduce. However, Bekicot are not animals that are easily matched with their partners. The reproduction process starts with two Bekicot approaching each other and doing some moves like dancing for hours. They will give off a special distinctive smell to attract their partner, and they will attach the back of their neck, that is where the reproduction area, against each other. Once the position is perfect, each of them will throw a lump of calcium carbonate called a love dart. This love dart is shaped like a sickle with a sharp tip and stuck in the body of each snail. Love darts are shielded while the snail's bodies are still stuck together. Once inside the partner's body, love darts will have various effects that affect the physical to the behavior of each snail. In addition, the love darts also have a function as a protector of their sperm. Why? Because nobody wants to be the mother. They compete to shoot sperm into each other's body. The best shoot will success in fertilizing the partner, and the winner will become the father. Oh, that's how you got your title, listeners. Well, yes, I know being the mother will have to lay eggs is a job full of responsibilities, but boy, oh boy, their mating process looks more like a war than a wedding day, isn't it? Look, a little bit inappropriate, but we know that nature always surprises us, right? After 2 weeks, Bekicot eggs will be released into the soil to be ready to hatch. Bekicot usually lay their eggs 3 to 4 times in a year, and in one egg laying, they can produce eggs between 100 to 300 eggs. The eggs will hatch after a few weeks, and the baby Bekicot that already had their shells will appear in the ground. That's how our little tiny junior born. The newborn baby also already have the ability to crawl or walk. A baby Bekicot that hatches on the ground will usually crawl directly to the tree trunk. They are very capable to live independently without the help of their mother. Rainfall is one of the important factors that influence snail breeding. In fact, some researchers have stated that the rainy season marks the mating period of snails. This is because when it rains, the number of matings will increase, while in the dry season, matings are rare and barely available at all. Even though they originally came from East African region, basically Bekicot is a species that has an excellent adaptability to various environmental conditions. We can see that from their very wide distribution actually. In fact, almost all countries in the world have these tiny creatures. Bekicot love to live in moist environments and don't really like exposure to direct sunlight. So the optimal area for their living is wet or moist tropical areas. They prefer minimum temperature around 7.22 degrees Celsius with an environmental pH between 7 and 8. With an optimal environmental condition to support their lives, Bekicot are generally be found in forest areas that have moist conditions. These animals usually stick to the ground, rocks, tree trunks, or leaves. Apart from the moist conditions, these areas also make it easier for them to get their food. This group of mollusks are actually considered as a pest by farmers because they eat farmers' crops. There are no specific type of plants that Bekicot loves to eat, but several plant species such as cucumbers, yams, cabbage, and boleras are the ones they eat most often. Sometimes Bekicot also eat the leftover substance that they found in garbage. We often found few of them living near the trash can and consume some delicious from organic waste. So it's very common for people to say that Bekicot is an animal that carries so many parasites that can cause disease, so it's not good to be kept or eat. However, in reality, there are people in several countries who actually eat Bekicot, such as France and Indonesia itself. Bekicot that they eat are generally farmed, so the possibility of parasites in the Bekicot's body is very minimal. Benefits of Bekicot. Yes, I said before that people often see Bekicot as a pest, especially by farmers, but that doesn't mean Bekicot don't have any benefits to human, okay? You have to know that parasites in the Bekicot's body are very dependent on the food that they consume. So Bekicot that are raised, cultivated, or bred from the start may not have parasites in their bodies. Bekicot are often used for health and also as a food ingredient. The part of Bekicot's body that are beneficial to human health is their mucus. In their mucus, there is a peptidoid substance which is antimicrobial that can affect bacteria, gram-positive bacteria or gram-negative bacteria by changing the ultrastructure of bacterial cells. Well, actually, there is no official research that mentions the benefits of Bekicot as a medicine. This treatment using snail mucus actually comes from traditional habits that are practiced by our ancestors. Some of them are considered to be effective and still used until today. Cosmetic serum made from snail mucus, for example, or the use of snail mucus as an alternative to prevent bacterial contamination of wounds and healing wounds. Some sources say that snail mucus is effective in treating burns. Bekicot as a food. Just like what I said before, people often use Bekicot also as a food ingredient. There are many types of food made from Bekicot. For example, snail salad in Kediri, East Java, Indonesia. This food is one of their specialties actually. And if you go there, you can get this food easily from everywhere. Starting from small vendor in front of schools to certain places or restaurants to eat. Rica escargot. Escargot is another name for Bekicot, just like what I said before. The recipe is the same as Rica dishes in general, and one thing is clear: before cooking, snails still have to be boiled first to get rid of the mucus and also to get the meat out of the shell much more easily. Crispy fried snails. As usual, after cleaning and boiling snails, they will be drained and seasoned with flour before frying. Then, after being cooked with medium oil, a crispy snail is created. It has crunchy texture on the outside and chewy on the inside. God, I'm hungry now. Escargot bourguignon is a classic French delicacy. Snails do not appeal to everyone, yes, but for people who are squeamish, I'm sure they will still love to soak up the sauce on the lovely fresh spaghetti. The bourguignon simply means from Burgundy. Well, I hate to say this to you, Mama Snails, but God, they look so delicious in that plate. I actually never ate them before because no one's looked this in my town, and not gonna lie, I really wonder how it tastes like. Is there any one of you who ever eat escargot or Bekicot before? Please tell me how it tastes like, okay? Okay, it's been a while since we started the video, and I think that's all I can say to you guys. Thank you for watching, and I hope you also can understand the topic that I explained to you in this video. I do so much research and I try to simplify everything as possible, so I hope it's not only me, but everyone could understand what I'm talking about. I put my hard work to the video, of course, but I know this video is still far from perfect. I'm so sorry for that, and you can also correct me or help me by adding some another new facts about Bekicot in the comments below. I would appreciate that very much. So, thank you and see you next time. Bye bye.